And now it's time for a little thing we like to call The World's Gone Mad. Yes, the world has indeed gone mad, or as the French would say, le monde, c'est fou. Once upon a time, the French had to rely on Jacques Tati for their beloved slapstick humour in movies such as Monsieur Hulot's Holiday.
I can't hear you. What's that? What's that? There's a hell of a row going on. Hold on a second.
But not anymore. Now the French have a brand new comedy couple, better than Laurel and Hardy or Marcel Marceau. It is, of course, the hilarious Emmanuel and Brigitte duo, a couple of clowns who pretend to also be the President of France and his school teacher. Here they are doing their hilarious Punch and Judy airplane act. Let's take a look at that again in slow-mo. Ooh, I felt that one, but nice recovery, monsieur. But what would that other great French comic character, Inspector Clouseau of Pink Panther fame, have to say?
Yes, you have received the bump upon the head.
Bimp?
What?
You said bimp.
Yes, I know that. It is a large bump. You could receive the concussion from such a bump. Allow me to assist you.
No!
Of course, with any quality slapstick gag, it's the reveal that's always the best bit. Yes, ever so smooth, Monsieur Président. Almost as good as Peter Sellers himself.
Yes. Yes, it's all coming back now. Ah, yes, I remember it. Well, that felt good.
Yes, mais oui, the Emmanuel and Brigitte show rolls on. And if they make any more Pink Panther movies, I think they've already found their perfect Président Clouseau. And of course, who can forget Emmanuel's incredibly masculine and tough guy impression of Napoleon Bonaparte only a month or so ago. Take that, Brigitte. Mon Dieu, la France. And then, of course, there was Emmanuel doing his classic mime act, worthy of Marcel Marceau, in which he appeared to make a bag of white powder disappear before your very eyes. Now you see it?
And after that, it will be a load of a drink. Yeah.
Now you don't. Great stuff. French comedy capers don't come any classier. Meanwhile, over in the United States, it's 5 years ago this week that the world went completely insane about the tragic death of George Floyd.
Thank you guys for taking a minute to honor the life of George Floyd. George was a father, a brother, and a son. And his life, like every life, held meaning.
Yes, it was the death of George Floyd that triggered not only riots across America, but also the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement, or BLM as it became known.
Come together, put your fist in the air. They stand around and protect statues and buildings instead of people. They need to join the local council and start to litter pick too. Black power!
Over several weeks during that ghastly summer, there were multiple riots and between $1 and $2 billion worth of damage, supposedly, caused by rioting and looting. And yet, for reasons best known to themselves, the mainstream media chose to describe events as mostly peaceful.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly, but fires have been started.
What you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the course of the night. What you are seeing now, these images came and come in stark contrast to what we saw over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face of law enforcement.
Largely peaceful, which did bear an uncanny similarity to this famous spoof by Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
But as far as the criminal elements of some BLM supporters were concerned, you can never do enough looting and rioting.
Because black people and marginalized and oppressed people could loot every store in this whole country for 200 years, it would not even come close to the debt that America owes us.
But often with BLM, it was hard to separate what was real from what should have been comedy, such as this bizarre scene where a white woman kissed a long line of black men's feet in order to atone for white guilt.
This is the Lord's work right here, man. This is the Lord's work right here. And this is a good white woman, man. She's showing her deeds, man, to the Lord, man.
And she was not by any means alone. Seems atonement for white guilt is catching.
God no longer should be here. In honor of his legacy, we're not rioting, God.
For others, the BLM era provided a long overdue opportunity to describe the shortcomings and supposed superiority complex of white Americans.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oppression.
Gaslighting. Lack of empathy.
Intellectualizing oppression. Did I say oppression?
What exactly are white people superior at?
Taking what's not there. Taking shit.
Taking our ideas.
Copycatting.
Gentrification.
Appropriating things that do not belong to them.
Taking over other people's cultures and making you believe that they invented it.
But as usual, you had to follow the money. BLM made no secret of its anti-capitalist, pro-Marxist agenda. It was writ large on their website. Yet so desperate were the white wokies to go in for a bit of virtue signalling that they ended up pouring literally millions of dollars into an organisation that wanted to destroy capitalism, as Ted Cruz explained at the time.
More than ironic that Microsoft is funding an organization calling for boycotting all white corporations. Bill Gates is white. Microsoft is literally funding an organization calling for Microsoft to be defunded. Jeff Bezos, the largest owner of Amazon, who likewise is funding this radical Marxist group. Jeff Bezos is white too. And he's funding an organization that is calling for the boycotting of Amazon.
Still, with all those dollars flooding in, some of the BLM head honchos decided maybe they'd try their hand at a bit of capitalism themselves. Here's BLM top brass Patrice Cullors explaining the virtue of reportedly spending $6 million on a swanky LA property.
We looked at, homes, and then we found this really amazing space that's a sweet spot between commercial and residential, that has office spaces, that has parking, that has, yes, a home on the property, but also has a sound stage where you could do podcasts.
Nice place if you can get it. Meanwhile, in Minneapolis itself, many of the black business owners whose jobs were destroyed never got a dime.
Let me tell you something. When they gave away the $50,000 that your family was handing out to the businesses to help them, you know how many people were up there that wasn't even from this area? There were 72 people up there trying to take that money from all the businesses. We didn't get a dime. None of us.
So for those Democrats who are wondering why on earth they lost to Donald Trump, comedian Rob Schneider had a few tips.
Still seem confused as to why they lost this election. They want to think it has something to do with misogyny or racism. Well, let me clear it up for those still bewildered Democrats. You lost because you ran a moron in place of a president you knew was a corpse attached to a car battery. You lost because your Justice Department called parents who showed up at school board meetings terrorists just for not wanting pornography in their children's classrooms.
Or could it be that everyday Americans are fed up with people like this?
This regime doesn't give a f*** if you die! These sick bastards in the house just passed their big, beautiful bill, and it's full of cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP. That means poor people, sick people, disabled people, hungry families. Apparently your survival is too expensive.
A severe attack there of TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, which can strike anywhere, anytime. I think this is what they call forgetting to draw breath or even maintaining the rage. Speaking of which, almost as entertaining was, of course, Kamala Harris's trip down under to Australia, where she was paid a king's ransom by a woke real estate company to speak about, well, anything but why she lost the election. Maybe John McGrath, the estate agent, should have asked BLM's Patrice Claus instead. She's the expert on real estate deals. But anyway, Queensland got Queen Kamala instead.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris given a rousing reception at the Australasian Real Estate Conference. Guests put through strict security screenings after paying $1,000 a ticket to hear her talk for an hour.
The dream of home ownership is one of the greatest challenges that they face.
Personally, I would have paid $1,000 not to hear Kamala's pearls of wisdom such as this.
But if you are in an interaction where you don't have that level of awareness, they will be aware of that. I mean, this is the thing that I've also known about life, and I'm sure everyone here understands. The vast majority of human beings are very intelligent.
Meanwhile, while Mum was away, Kamala's stepdaughter released a video of herself trying on some new clothes.
I feel like I want to do ballet moves. Like, I'm usually not a capri girl because I have pretty sturdy calves, but I mean, that silhouette.
And speaking of great dance moves, here's my AI gag of the week. Could this be the reason for Brigitte Macron's savage outburst against her husband? Jealousy, perhaps?
All the best. God for my heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And finally, no, this is not AI, this is the real thing, the perfect metaphor for the entire diversity and inclusion woke agenda. I give you the modern British police force.
Bit harder. Go on. Hit it.
Give up with it.
You call yourself police force? No force in you.
And the male police officer just stood back, worried perhaps of being accused of misogyny or sexism if he offered to help them break down the door. Yes, it truly is a world gone mad.